I froze as my father's words hit me like a knife. "No one in this family actually likes you," he said, smiling like it was a joke. My mother nodded, sipping her wine as if it were perfectly normal to humiliate their own child. I couldn't breathe. Could parents really say something so cruel at a family dinner? Could they really feel no guilt at all? My name is Marlene West, 41 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I've tried to fit into this family. I smiled, laughed, and obeyed their rules. But tonight, it felt like I was invisible, like every effort had been worthless. How could love turn so cold? I stared down at my plate, the mashed potatoes now tasting like ash. Daniel, my 11-year-old son, tugged at my sleeve. "Mom, are they serious?" he whispered. His eyes were wide with fear. I swallowed hard. "Yes, baby, but we won't let it break us." Could a child understand the venom in words adults throw so easily? The room buzzed with the polite chatter of my uncles and aunts, completely unaware of the cruelty unfolding. My father leaned back, smirking. "You're too sensitive, Marlene. That's why no one wants to be around you." The air felt heavy, suffocating. Could someone be so blind to their own cruelty? I clenched my fists under the table. Anger surged inside me, hot and sharp. I wanted to stand up, yell, throw the plates, but I didn't. I had to be smart. Could I fight them with words, or would I need something stronger? How far would you go if your family humiliated you in front of everyone? Daniel looked up at me, his small hands trembling. "Mom, are they going to hurt me too?" My heart broke. "No, baby. I will protect you. Always." I felt a surge of determination. They could hurt me, but they could never touch the bond one had with my son. Would love be stronger than cruelty? Could I really take control tonight? My mother leaned forward, eyes glinting with condescension. "You'll never be like us, Marlene. We warned you." I looked into her eyes and saw something familiar, pride twisted into cruelty. Could someone take pride in hurting their own child? Was this what family really meant to them? I could feel the eyes of distant relatives watching me, waiting for a reaction. Some smiled politely, some shifted uncomfortably, but no one spoke. It was as if the silence was a weapon too. Could I break it? Or would their collective judgment crush me completely? I took a deep breath, steadying myself. "I see," I said softly, loud enough for everyone to hear. "If that's how you feel, then I guess it's time I show you something." Their smirks faltered for just a moment. Could they sense that I was planning something they would never expect? Daniel squeezed my hand, curiosity and fear mingling in his eyes. "Mom, what are you going to do?" I smiled gently, masking the storm inside. "Something that will make everyone pay attention. Something they'll never forget." Could revenge ever be measured? Or would it spiral out of control once it began? My father's laugh echoed across the room. "Oh, Marlene, what could you possibly do?" I leaned back slightly, smiling faintly. "You'll see soon enough." The tension in the room shifted. For the first time tonight, I felt power. Could a daughter truly turn the tables on a lifetime of betrayal? The rest of the meal passed in a blur. Every comment, every smirk, every judgmental glance fueled a fire inside me. Daniel watched quietly, sensing the storm brewing. Could a child see courage forming in their parents' eyes? Could he feel that tonight, something monumental was about to change? As dessert arrived, my mind raced. The cake, the wine, the laughter, all of it seemed like a stage set for my plan. I smiled politely, hiding the pulse of anticipation in my chest. Could I really turn a cruel evening into my moment of triumph? Would they ever see it coming? I glanced at the clock. Soon, everyone would finish eating. Soon, the moment would arrive. My heart pounded, a mix of fear and excitement. Could I control the unfolding drama? Could my family ever understand the consequences of their cruelty? Daniel whispered again, "Mom, what's going to happen next?" I bent down and kissed his cheek. "Patience. baby. The best part is yet to come. The smile on my lips was calm, but my mind was sharp. Could I pull off the plan without anyone suspecting? The relatives chatted, oblivious. My father glanced at me occasionally, a faint curiosity in his eyes. He had no idea that tonight, his words would set off a chain of events he could never stop. Could someone truly underestimate the quiet power of a daughter who has been wronged? I felt a flicker of satisfaction. The night was mine to control. Every insult, every slight, every mockery would return to them in a way they couldn't imagine. Could revenge be beautiful? Could justice feel this sweet when executed perfectly? Daniel's tiny hand held mine. Mom, I feel like something big is coming. I smiled, brushing his hair back. Yes, baby. It is. My pulse raced with anticipation. Could we survive what was about to unfold? Could cruelty finally meet its match tonight? I looked around the table one last time before standing. I think it's time for a toast, I said, my voice calm but firm. Everyone turned toward me. Their curiosity flickered into surprise. Could they sense the shift? Could they understand that their mockery had ignited something unstoppable? I raised my glass, my heart steady despite the storm inside. To family, I said, voice strong. May truth always find its way, no matter how long it takes. The words hung in the air, tense and sharp. Could one toast change the course of a lifetime of betrayal? Could one daughter finally turn the tables? And then, I smiled, just faintly, just enough to unsettle them. The look in their eyes told me they didn't know what was coming. But I did. And so did Daniel. This was only the beginning. Could you imagine what would happen next if you were in my shoes? Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see how I turned this dinner into something no one would forget. Comment below where you're watching from. I want to hear your thoughts. After the toast, I excused myself from the table, my mind racing. My parents' cruel words echoed in my ears. Could people really carry that much hatred for their own child? Daniel followed silently, his small hand clutching mine. He didn't speak, but I felt his fear. Would a child ever forget seeing a parent hurt by family? I led him to the living room, away from prying eyes. The soft hum of the chandelier felt like a shield. Mom, what are you going to do? He asked, eyes wide. I bent down to his level. We're going to show them something they'll never forget. But we must be smart. Can you think of a time you needed to act quietly but powerfully? The cake sat on the table, glistening with frosting. My parents didn't notice my gaze. Could something as sweet as dessert become a tool of justice? I traced my finger along the edge, imagining how their faces would change when the truth came out. Could revenge be subtle yet devastating? Memories flooded me. Childhood dinners where their insults felt like knives, birthdays ruined by comparison, holidays filled with judgment. Every slight, every sneer, every mocking laugh added fuel to the fire inside me. Could years of silent pain finally ignite into something unstoppable? Could one moment of courage erase decades of cruelty? I glanced at Daniel. He looked small, innocent, unaware of the storm brewing. Could I protect him from the darkness of family drama while still teaching him the power of standing up for oneself? I squeezed his hand. We will do this together, baby. You'll see. I remembered my college years, my first job, the achievements they never praised. I had built a life without their support, yet they acted as if I owed them admiration. Could someone work tirelessly for love and respect, only to be denied both by blood relatives? How would you feel in my shoes? My parents continued chatting with the relatives, oblivious to my plan. Their laughter grated on my nerves, but I calmed myself. I needed patience. Could patience be a more powerful weapon than anger? Could silence before action be more terrifying than shouting? I set down a small envelope I had hidden in my purse. Inside were letters, evidence, and photos. The proof of everything. The betrayals, the manipulations, the cruel lies they spread about me. Could paper hold the weight of years of injustice? Could truth in black and white finally silence mockery? Daniel peeked at the envelope. Mom, what's that? I smiled gently. A little surprise for the adults, baby. Something to help them understand how they treated us. Could children sense the power of justice without fully knowing its form? Could innocence amplify the impact of revenge? I poured a glass of wine for myself, my hands steady despite the adrenaline. Tonight, I would not be weak. Tonight, the balance would shift. Could courage grow from fear? Could one act of bravery change the atmosphere of an entire family gathering? The clock ticked louder than the chatter. Soon, dessert would be served. Soon, my moment would arrive. I felt a thrill I hadn't felt in years. Could one carefully timed action turn humiliation into vindication? Could someone finally see the cost of cruelty? My mother glanced at me, a faint suspicion in her eyes. I smiled politely, hiding the storm inside. Could people sense danger when it's wrapped in calmness? Could they feel the shift before it's too late? Daniel tugged at my sleeve again. Mom, are they going to be mad? I nodded gently. Yes, but it's okay. They need to see the truth. Could confronting lies finally lead to understanding, or would it spark more chaos? Could honesty be more terrifying than any insult? I remembered the first time my father called me a disappointment in front of everyone. My cheeks burned then, just like they do now, but this time I was ready. Could years of silence finally turn into a perfect moment of power? Could one act undo a lifetime of pain? The room was alive with chatter, unaware of the tension simmering beneath polite smiles. I checked the envelope once more. Everything was in place. Could anticipation be more potent than the act itself? Could fear before revelation create its own kind of justice? Daniel whispered, Mom, I'm nervous. I hugged him. Good. Nervousness means it matters. Tonight, we show them what they've missed all these years. Could teaching a child about courage come from witnessing a parent reclaim dignity? Could innocence learn strength from subtle defiance? I looked at my parents again. My father's smirk, my mother's dismissive gaze. They thought they were in control. They didn't see the storm forming. Could underestimating someone be the greatest mistake of all? Could complacency be the most dangerous enemy? The relatives laughed at a joke my mother made. I forced a polite smile, my heart racing. Could a calm smile hide a carefully planned moment of reckoning? Could people laugh while danger quietly builds around them? I whispered to Daniel, Get ready, baby. It's almost time. His eyes widened with anticipation. Could a child feel tension even without understanding its full meaning? Could the energy of a parent's plan ripple quietly into the next generation? The dessert plates were brought forward. Cake, candles, and a room full of oblivious adults. I took a deep breath. Could sweetness mask justice until the perfect moment? Could something so ordinary become a stage for revelation? I glanced once more at the envelope. Everything aligned. My plan, my patience, my courage. It all came down to this moment. Could years of suffering finally become an instrument of clarity? Could one evening rewrite decades of family dynamics? I whispered again. Soon, Daniel, soon. The first spark of change was about to ignite. Could one daughter finally teach a family the weight of their words? Could one child witness courage that changes everything? The cake sat in front of my parents, candles flickering. Their laughter had faded, replaced by curiosity. Could they sense something unusual tonight? I glanced at Daniel. His small hand trembled slightly in mine. Mom, are we really going to do this? I nodded softly. Yes, baby. But we have to be calm. Could patience make our move even more powerful than anger? I reached for the envelope, sliding it toward the center of the table. My mother raised an eyebrow. What's that, Marlene? Her tone was curious, almost mocking. Could curiosity be a weapon in itself? I smiled faintly. Just something to remember. A few truths about our family. Could they handle the weight of honesty? My father laughed. truths. You. Please. He smirked, but I noticed a flicker of unease in his eyes. Could arrogance blind someone to the storm building in silence? Could someone underestimate their child one last time? Daniel's eyes widened as he watched my hand hover over the envelope. Could a child sense the tension before the adults even realize it? I placed the envelope in the middle of the table. Every relative glanced at it, their curiosity sharpening. Could simple paper carry the weight of decades of lies and cruelty? Could something so small shift the balance of power in a single moment? My heart pounded. My mother reached for the cake, laughing nervously. Shall we cut it then? She didn't notice my glance. I had chosen this moment carefully. Could a seemingly normal act, cutting cake, become a turning point? Could they ever guess the chaos hidden behind politeness? I whispered to Daniel, "Watch closely, baby. Timing is everything." He nodded, eyes bright with anticipation and fear. Could children feel justice even before it begins? Could one moment teach lessons they will never forget? I cut the first slice slowly, deliberately, the knife glinting under the chandelier. Could an ordinary act become symbolic if done with purpose? Could my parents read the tension in my movements without knowing its meaning? My father leaned closer, his curiosity overtaking mockery. "What are you doing?" I smiled faintly. "Showing you what you've missed all these years." Could calm confidence unsettle people more than anger? Could a quiet approach deliver a louder message than shouting? I placed the first slice on a plate, sliding it toward my mother. She looked puzzled, hesitant. Could hesitation reveal fear before it's even earned? Could someone sense danger and not know its source? Daniel held my hand tightly, his small strength giving me courage. I leaned back, watching my mother pick up the fork. Her eyes flickered toward the envelope again. Could curiosity make someone take the first step toward their own downfall? Could one simple glance change the course of a family dinner? The candlelight flickered across my father's face. Could shadows exaggerate the tension in a room? Could subtle changes in light make the ordinary feel dangerous? I caught his slight pause, the hesitation in his smirk. Could arrogance falter when challenged quietly? I finally spoke, calm and steady. "Open the envelope when you finish your slice." My mother laughed nervously. "What's inside? A trick?" Could a calm warning be scarier than a scream? Could they sense danger without seeing it? Daniel whispered, "Mom, are they scared?" I smiled, hiding my satisfaction. "Maybe, baby, maybe. But we're just getting started." Could anticipation be more terrifying than the act itself? Could tension alone teach a lesson no words could? My mother cut into the cake. The knife scraped against the plate. Could ordinary sounds feel like warning signals when the atmosphere is tense? Could small details heighten fear without anyone noticing? My father shifted in his chair, eyes darting toward the envelope. Could subtle discomfort signal the coming storm? I took a sip of my drink, pretending calm. My heart raced beneath my calm exterior. Could outward composure mask inner preparation for revenge? Could someone hide years of pain and planning behind a polite smile? Daniel's eyes never left the envelope. "Mom, what's going to happen when they open it?" I whispered. "They will see everything. Every word, every lie, every insult they've thrown at us, all in one place." Could truth hit harder than any insult ever could? Could years of silence become an unstoppable force? My mother's fork trembled slightly. Could fear make the strongest appear weak? Could someone notice hesitation too late? My father leaned forward, curiosity overtaking caution. Could human nature, curiosity, arrogance, be used against them? I caught my breath, letting the suspense build. Could silence before action feel louder than the action itself? Could tension stretch seconds into lifetimes in a room full of people who think they are in control? The fork hovered over the cake. Could small gestures feel monumental when the stakes are high? Could ordinary objects, forks, plates, envelopes, become instruments of justice when wielded strategically? Daniel held my hand tighter. Could a child understand courage without fully understanding its form? I whispered again, soon, baby. Just a little longer. Could delay make the revelation more powerful? Could suspense heighten the impact of truth when revealed carefully? The adults chatted, oblivious to the careful timing. Could ignorance make them more vulnerable than they realize? The cake moved closer to my father. Could the first bite symbolize the start of change? Could they sense the storm about to break without seeing its shape? I watched every twitch, every flicker of doubt. Could people feel impending consequences and be powerless to stop them? The envelope sat in the middle, almost glowing under the chandelier. Could something so simple hold the power to rewrite years of family dynamics? Could paper carry more weight than words spoken for decades? Daniel squeezed my hand. Could one child feel the energy of courage before it erupts fully? I smiled faintly, just enough to unsettle them. Could a quiet smile carry as much threat as a loud shout? Could subtle signals teach lessons stronger than anger? My pulse quickened. Could the calm before the storm be more frightening than the storm itself? The first bite of cake was swallowed, and I waited. My heart raced, but my face remained calm. Could the smallest action hold the power to change everything in a family? Daniel squeezed my hand, excitement and fear mingling in his eyes. Could children feel the weight of justice before understanding it fully? I watched my mother carefully, noticing the first flicker of doubt in her eyes. The envelope sat in the middle of the table, silently daring her to open it. Could hesitation be more terrifying than action? Could the anticipation of truth alone break arrogance? My father leaned back, trying to mask curiosity with a smirk. Could people pretend confidence when fear is creeping in? Could arrogance blind someone to their own vulnerability? I slid the envelope slightly closer, careful not to appear too eager. Could small gestures signal power without a word being spoken? Daniel whispered, "Mom, are they going to see?" I nodded gently. "Yes, baby, soon. Watch closely." Could witnessing courage give a child lessons they will never forget? Could the energy of one act of justice ripple through generations silently? My mother finally reached for the envelope, her hand trembling slightly. Could human curiosity override pride? Could someone desire the truth even if it might hurt them? I held my breath. Could a simple touch start a chain reaction no one expected? She opened it slowly. Every paper inside, a letter, a photograph, a note, was carefully placed to tell a story of decades of manipulation and cruelty. Could physical evidence make memories of hurt more vivid? Could the weight of proof feel heavier than years of spoken words? My father's eyes widened as he saw the first letter. Could arrogance falter when confronted with undeniable truth? Could someone realize too late that their cruelty had been recorded, preserved, and now exposed? Daniel's small hand gripped mine tightly. Could children sense the impact of truth before understanding its details? I watched them scan the pages. Faces turned pale. My mother's voice caught. Marlene. We. Words failed her. Could guilt paralyze someone more than anger? Could the silence of realization be louder than any argument? My father's smirk vanished. He stared at a photo of himself mocking me years ago. Could visual reminders of cruelty sting deeper than spoken memories? Could shame hit harder when it is undeniable and public within a family? I leaned back slightly, maintaining calm. Could confidence under pressure heighten the effect of revelation? Could a composed exterior make the truth strike harder? Daniel's eyes were wide, reflecting my calm determination. Could a child feel power even before understanding strategy? My mother's hands trembled over the papers. Could hands reveal fear even when the face hides it? Could small physical tells betray the mind before the mouth speaks? I whispered softly to Daniel, "They're realizing now, baby. Watch." Could observation teach lessons of courage as strongly as action? My father coughed, trying to regain composure. This is impossible," he said. Could denial be the first instinct of someone confronted with their misdeeds? Could arrogance falter when confronted with irrefutable truth? I watched as his fingers fidgeted. Could subtle movements show guilt even when words fail? Could tension ripple through a room without a single raised voice? Daniel's small grip reassured me. Could a child's presence amplify courage silently? My mother's eyes filled with unshed tears. Could realization bring sorrow more effectively than confrontation? Could someone feel regret decades too late? Could sorrow serve as both punishment and awakening? I glanced at Daniel. They see it now. The truth hits. Could witnessing this moment give him strength? Could learning courage in action outweigh lessons from words alone? Could one dinner shift the perception of family forever? The envelope contained everything: evidence of neglect, insults, manipulations. Could documented truth carry more impact than repeated arguments? Could proof silence years of gaslighting? Could a family finally understand the depth of pain they caused? My father's hands clenched. Could anger return after the initial shock of guilt? Could pride and fear fight for control once realization sets in? Daniel's eyes were wide, curious, yet cautious. Could children sense adult emotions and process them differently than words allow? I remained calm, letting the tension build. Could restraint heighten the psychological impact of revelation? Could a composed exterior make the storm inside hit harder? Could silence be louder than the loudest shouting? My mother finally whispered, "Marlene, why didn't you tell us sooner?" Could honesty be more painful than years of silence? Could timing make the difference between anger and understanding? Could one dinner truly rewrite decades of perception? I smiled faintly, gently. Because you never asked, and I wanted you to see it yourselves. Tonight, you see everything. Could indirect revelation teach lessons deeper than confrontation? Could witnessing proof shift perception more than words? My father's hands shook slightly. Could vulnerability appear suddenly when arrogance is stripped away? Could the weight of decades of neglect and insult finally crush a facade? Daniel squeezed my hand, eyes reflecting pride. Could children feel justice even when it is carefully executed by a parent? The room was silent, heavy with tension. Could silence amplify the emotional weight more than any spoken confrontation? Could the pause before reaction heighten suspense to a level words cannot reach? I glanced at Daniel. They know now. The first truth is revealed. Could one carefully executed moment teach a family lessons no words could? The room was heavy with silence. My parents stared at the envelope, eyes wide, their hands frozen. Could guilt feel heavier than any punishment? Daniel squeezed my hand, unsure of what would come next. Could children feel tension even before fully understanding it? I took a deep breath. There's more, I said softly, sliding a second folder toward them. Could anticipation make people fear even before seeing the truth? Could curiosity outweigh arrogance when the stakes are personal? My mother's hand trembled as she reached for the second folder. Could hesitation reveal fear even when someone tries to appear confident? Could pride crumble under slow, careful exposure? Inside the folder were bills, letters, and evidence of years they had neglected me and tried to control my life. Could tangible proof pierce through excuses? Could documentation outweigh decades of lies spoken confidently? I watched their faces closely. My father's jaw tightened. Could someone look calm while panic churns inside? Could arrogance falter when presented with undeniable facts? Daniel whispered softly, "Mom, they're scared." I smiled faintly, hiding my satisfaction. Could children sense fear before understanding the reason behind it? Could observing justice give them lessons without words? My mother gasped as she read the first letter. Her face went pale. Could seeing documented cruelty cause regret that words never could? Could acknowledgement come too late to undo pain? My father tried to laugh, but it sounded hollow. Could humor fail when confronted with irrefutable truth? Could denial weaken under the weight of evidence? I remained calm, letting the tension build. Could composure amplify the effect of revelation? Could silence hit harder than anger ever could? Daniel's small hand squeezed mine tighter. Could a child feel empowerment in witnessing courage? Could observing calculated justice teach lessons no lecture ever could? My mother's eyes filled with tears. Could sorrow arrive faster than understanding? Could realization come before apology? Could recognition of wrongs feel heavier than punishment? I spoke softly. Do you remember when you humiliated me in front of everyone at my graduation? This folder reminds you of that day. And every day after. Could one detailed reminder evoke a stronger reaction than years of complaints? My father's hands shook as he flipped through documents. Could fear appear subtly before anger bursts? Could decades of arrogance crumble in moments? Daniel whispered, "Mom, what will happen next?" I smiled gently. "Soon, baby, soon. The full truth will be revealed." Could suspense heighten impact more than any action itself? The relatives around the table were beginning to notice tension. Could outsiders sense the change in dynamics before those involved even speak? Could subtle energy shifts convey power silently? I slid a photo toward the center, showing my parents' words written in my old journals. Could exposing personal memories create shock stronger than public humiliation? Could honesty feel like a weapon in the right hands? My mother's lips trembled as she read. Could guilt silence someone more than anger? Could remorse appear instantly when confronted with undeniable truth? My father's eyes darted around, searching for a way out. Could panic appear when one believes they control the room? Could arrogance blind someone to their own vulnerability? I whispered to Daniel, "See how truth feels, baby, even when it hurts." Could witnessing consequences teach children lessons faster than explanations? Could they learn courage through observation? The cake sat untouched. The candles flickered as if reflecting the tension in the room. Could ordinary objects become symbols of fear and revelation? Could the familiar feel threatening when paired with justice? I watched my parents closely. Could anticipation be more terrifying than confrontation? Could suspense make the impact of truth even stronger? Daniel's eyes were wide. Could a child absorb emotion silently? Could innocence amplify the power of planned revelation? I leaned slightly forward, keeping calm. Could the quietest person in the room deliver the loudest message? Could restraint serve as a tool more effective than anger? My mother whispered, "Marlene, why didn't you say anything before?" Could indirect revelation make someone confront their guilt more fully than direct confrontation? Could patience and timing teach lessons deeper than words? My father coughed nervously. Could denial falter under the weight of evidence? Could arrogance collapse quietly, revealing vulnerability? I smiled faintly. "Because you never asked, and I wanted you to see everything clearly, with your own eyes." Could clarity be more powerful than argument? Could observation deliver a stronger message than shouting ever could? Daniel squeezed my hand. "Mom, they look scared." I nodded. "Yes, baby, scared, and now they know the cost of their actions." Could witnessing consequences strengthen a child's understanding of justice? Could courage be modeled through carefully executed moments? I leaned back slightly. Could control of one's composure amplify the effect of revelation? Could calmness make truth hit harder? The relatives at the table were silent, sensing tension even without knowing its source. Could energy alone convey power? Could quiet observation create fear? My mother's eyes filled with tears. Could emotions appear before words? Could guilt strike instantly when faced with undeniable truth? My father's jaw clenched. Could anger and fear mingle, creating chaos inside someone who believes they control the room? Could patience outmatch impulsive reactions? I glanced at Daniel. The first part is done. Now the next part begins. Could suspense and open loops make the lesson even more unforgettable? Could anticipation heighten every reaction to come? The room was silent, the envelope and folder in front of my parents. Their eyes darted between the papers, the cake, And me? Could silence ever feel heavier than anger? Could anticipation alone teach lessons? Daniel held my hand, eyes wide, sensing the tension. Could children feel justice before fully understanding it? I reached for the next set of papers, letters my parents had never known I kept. Could hidden memories carry more weight than confrontations? Could forgotten truths strike harder than spoken ones? I placed them slowly on the table. Could deliberate timing increase the shock? My mother glanced at the letters, her lips trembling. Marlene, where did you get these? Could someone's curiosity be both their weakness and their undoing? Could evidence of past cruelty shake confidence faster than accusations? I smiled faintly. These are the words you never wanted me to remember. Every insult, every disregard. It's all here. Could honesty feel sharper than anger? Could one moment of truth erase decades of control? Daniel whispered, "Mom, they look scared." I nodded, keeping my calm. Could a child sense fear without understanding its reason? Could observation alone teach a lesson stronger than words? My father's eyes flicked over a letter, his face pale. Could guilt appear physically before being acknowledged verbally? Could arrogance crumble quietly under undeniable proof? The cake sat untouched. Candles flickered in the room's tension. Could ordinary objects take on meaning in moments of truth? Could a simple cake table become a stage for justice? I leaned forward slightly. Do you remember how you humiliated me at my first job interview? My mother's hands shook as she reached for another letter. Could past mistakes feel heavier when documented? Could fear arrive faster than understanding? My father cleared his throat, attempting control. This is too much. Could denial falter when faced with concrete evidence? Could a facade of control collapse under quiet, patient revelation? Daniel's small hand squeezed mine. Could children absorb lessons through observation rather than instruction? Could witnessing courage inspire more than explanations ever could? I carefully slid a photograph into view, a picture of my mother laughing while dismissing my achievements. Could visual proof amplify emotional impact? Could tangible evidence silence excuses faster than words? My mother's breath caught. Could guilt strike before words can form? Could realization arrive as a physical weight, pressing down unexpectedly? My father's fingers fidgeted nervously. Could small gestures betray inner turmoil before words do? Could pride crumble in subtle, almost imperceptible ways? I whispered to Daniel, "They are realizing now, baby. Watch closely." Could anticipation create stronger impact than action itself? Could suspense heighten the effectiveness of every move? The relatives around the table noticed the tension. Could outsiders sense drama even before understanding its source? Could energy alone convey justice without explanation? I leaned back slightly, maintaining calm. Could composure make truth strike harder? Could patience in revealing secrets increase the impact exponentially? My mother's eyes filled with tears. Could sorrow appear before understanding? Could regret arrive faster than apology? Could recognition of wrongs feel heavier than punishment itself? My father's jaw clenched. Could anger and fear mix to create chaos inside someone who believes they hold control? Could careful timing of revelations outmatch impulsive reactions? Daniel whispered again, "Mom, what will happen next?" I smiled faintly. "Soon, baby. The next truth will shake them even more." Could anticipation make the next revelation even more powerful? Could suspense heighten every reaction that follows? I opened the final letter in my hands. It revealed years of my parents' manipulations and hidden insults that no one else had seen. Could the weight of exposure make silence unbearable? Could documented cruelty cut deeper than spoken words ever could? My mother gasped. Could physical reactions precede mental acknowledgement? Could guilt strike before comprehension? Could a person feel punishment silently through realization alone? My father's eyes darted across the letters. Could panic emerge before anger? Could arrogance falter when confronted with evidence that cannot be denied? Daniel squeezed my hand again. Could a child feel empowerment by witnessing courage unfold? Could observing consequences teach a life lesson faster than instruction ever could? The room felt heavy with tension. Could ordinary objects, letters, envelopes, a cake, become tools for justice when combined with patience? Could subtle details heighten fear without anyone realizing it? I watched their reactions carefully. Could anticipation itself serve as a weapon? Could silence be more piercing than confrontation? My mother whispered, "Marlene, why didn't you tell us sooner?" Could indirect revelation teach deeper lessons than direct confrontation? Could timing make understanding more powerful than anger? I smiled faintly. Because you never asked, and I wanted you to see everything clearly for yourselves. Could clarity deliver lessons stronger than argument? Could observation alone reveal truths words never could? Daniel's eyes were wide. "Mom, they look scared." I nodded. "Yes, baby, scared, and now they see the cost of their actions." Could witnessing consequences strengthen understanding even in a child? Could courage be learned through carefully executed actions? The envelope and letters lay in the middle. Could composed restraint amplify the impact of revelation? Could calmness make truth hit harder than shouting? Relatives nearby were silent, sensing tension even without understanding its cause. Could subtle energy shifts convey power silently? Could observation alone make someone feel the weight of justice? My mother's tears fell quietly. Could emotion strike faster than understanding? Could guilt arrive instantly when faced with undeniable proof? My father's jaw was tight. Could fear and anger mingle, creating inner chaos? Could patience and timing outmatch impulsive reactions? I glanced at Daniel. The second part is done, but the next moment will change everything even more. Could suspense and open loops make the remaining revelations unforgettable? Could anticipation heighten every reaction to come? The air felt thick, almost solid, as my parents stared at the letters. Could tension itself feel like a weight pressing down? Daniel squeezed my hand tightly, sensing the power in the room. Could children feel the energy of adults' mistakes even without fully understanding it? I slowly stood, letting my height and calm confidence fill the space. Could posture alone command attention? Could composure make a revelation hit harder than yelling ever could? My parents flinched slightly. Could subtle cues expose fear even when someone tries to hide it? Do you remember how you controlled every birthday, every holiday? I asked softly. My mother's lips trembled. Could questions uncover guilt faster than accusations? Could reflection alone create tension that words cannot explain? Daniel's small voice whispered, "Mom, are they scared?" I nodded. "Yes, baby. They finally feel it. Watch carefully." Could children sense fear before they understand why it exists? Could observation alone teach courage and patience? My father's jaw tightened as he scanned the letters again. Could someone attempt control while panic rises inside? Could arrogance crumble quietly before acknowledgement of wrongdoing? I let a small smile play on my lips. Could subtle satisfaction intensify the impact of justice? I placed a photograph in front of them, a moment when they humiliated me publicly years ago. Could images of past cruelty feel sharper than the memory of spoken words? Could undeniable evidence strike deeper than any argument? My mother gasped softly, her hands shaking. Could guilt appear in physical gestures before words emerge? Could subtle signals convey more than speech? Daniel's eyes were wide with curiosity. Could children absorb lessons silently, through observation rather than lecture? I leaned slightly forward. Every insult, every disregard, it's all here. And tonight, you see the weight of your actions. Could patience amplify the effect of revelation? Could calm delivery make truth hit harder than anger? My father coughed nervously, trying to regain composure. Could denial falter in the face of undeniable evidence? Could arrogance collapse silently under the force of truth? Daniel squeezed my hand again. Could courage be taught without words, just through presence and action? I gestured toward the cake, still untouched. Could ordinary objects become symbols of tension and consequence? Could silence make the familiar feel threatening when paired with truth? My mother's breath caught. Could anticipation alone evoke fear before consequences are revealed? The room felt smaller, charged with emotion. Could subtle energy alone convey power? Could restraint teach lessons stronger than confrontation? Daniel whispered, "Mom, what's going to happen next?" I smiled faintly. Soon. The next truth will strike even harder. Could suspense heighten the impact of revelation? I opened the next envelope carefully, letting them glimpse its contents without rushing. Could slow, deliberate pacing amplify shock? Could timing of disclosure maximize impact? My mother's hands shook as she reached for the paper. Could hesitation reveal fear even when one attempts control? Inside were notes detailing years of manipulation I had endured in silence. Could documented cruelty feel heavier than spoken insults? Could proof silence excuses faster than words ever could? My father's face went pale. Could physical reaction appear before mental acknowledgement? Daniel's small hand clutched mine. Could a child feel empowerment witnessing justice unfold carefully? Could lessons of courage and resilience be absorbed without instruction? Could observation alone teach morality and patience? I leaned slightly back, letting the tension grow. Could silence increase the power of revelation? Could patience make a lesson hit deeper than confrontation alone? My parents' eyes were fixed on the evidence. Could realization arrive before words? Could guilt overwhelm arrogance silently? I spoke softly. Do you see now? Every slight, every humiliation. It was not invisible. It shaped me, and now you witness it all. Could calm honesty feel sharper than anger? Could documentation of truth outlast years of denial? My mother's eyes glistened with tears. Could guilt strike silently, faster than understanding? Could regret arrive decades too late but still feel sharp? Daniel's small eyes followed every motion. Could children sense emotion and absorb lessons without full comprehension? My father's fingers twitched nervously. Could someone's hands betray inner turmoil before their mouth does? Could pride crumble subtly under evidence? Could the weight of observation replace punishment? I placed a photograph from a forgotten event on the table. Could visual proof strike more effectively than memory alone? Could tangible evidence amplify the weight of years of cruelty? Could documentation replace arguments? My mother's lips quivered. Could sorrow precede comprehension? Could silent acknowledgement outweigh shouted explanations? My father's jaw was tight. Could fear and anger mix inside someone who believed they controlled the room? Could patience outmatch impulsive reactions? Daniel whispered, "Mom, they look different." I nodded. "Yes, baby. They are realizing now. Watch carefully." Could witnessing courage in action teach more than words ever could? Could a child absorb lessons of justice silently? The letters and photographs lay spread across the table. Could the weight of truth overwhelm without a single raised voice? Could restraint, timing, and evidence combine to create maximum impact? I leaned slightly forward. The first part of understanding is done. The next part will shake you even more. Could suspense and anticipation increase the emotional impact? Could open loops heighten engagement naturally? My parents' hands trembled as they scanned the remaining documents. Could guilt appear physically before mental acknowledgement? Could the realization of long-term neglect overwhelm confidence instantly? Daniel squeezed my hand tightly. Could children sense courage and fear, learning resilience before they fully understand reason? Could observation alone instill lessons of justice? The room was silent, heavy with emotion. Could anticipation and careful pacing make truth feel more powerful than confrontation? Could calm delivery and timing amplify the impact of revelation exponentially? My mother whispered, "Marlene, why didn't you tell us sooner?" Could indirect revelation teach deeper lessons than direct confrontation? Could timing make acknowledgement of wrongdoing more impactful than anger? I smiled faintly. Because you never asked, and I wanted you to see everything for yourselves. Clearly. Could clarity outmatch argument? Could observation alone reveal lessons words cannot? Daniel's eyes were wide, reflecting the tension. Mom, they look serious. I nodded. Yes, baby, serious, and they now understand part of the cost of their actions. Could witnessing consequences strengthen understanding even in a child? Could courage be taught silently through patient action? The room felt colder now, as if the tension had shifted the air itself. Could silence be heavier than anger? Daniel held my hand tighter, sensing the shift. Could children feel justice even before understanding it? I placed the final set of letters and photographs in front of my parents. Could tangible proof speak louder than years of words? Could evidence alone awaken realization and fear? My mother's hands trembled as she picked up the first photograph. Could guilt appear physically before being spoken? Could someone recognize their mistakes without apology? I leaned forward, calm but firm. These are the moments you thought I would forget. Every dismissal, every insult, everything is here. Could patience and timing make truth hit harder than shouting ever could? Daniel whispered. Mom, they look scared. I nodded. Yes, baby. They are realizing the weight of their actions. Could witnessing courage instill lessons in a child without explanation? My father's eyes scanned the letters, the color draining from his face. Could someone feel panic before acknowledging wrongdoing? Could arrogance crumble silently when confronted with undeniable evidence? I placed one photograph carefully. It showed my parents laughing while ignoring me during a crucial life event. Could visual evidence strike harder than memory alone? Could a single image undo decades of denial? My mother gasped softly, lips trembling. Could sorrow strike faster than comprehension? Could regret arrive before apology is possible? I leaned back slightly, keeping calm. Could subtle composure make truth strike deeper than anger? Could restraint in revelation amplify fear and understanding simultaneously? Daniel looked at me, whispering, Mom, what's next? I smiled faintly. The next truth will hit harder. Are you ready to watch? Could suspense and open questions intensify emotional engagement? Could children sense it before adults do? I opened the final envelope. Inside were letters from distant relatives, confirming everything my parents had tried to hide. Could hidden allies amplify the weight of truth? Could discovery of long-concealed actions make realization more devastating? My mother's lips quivered as she read the words. Could acknowledgement of manipulation strike deeper than the manipulations themselves? Could exposure alone break arrogance? My father's hands fidgeted nervously. Could small gestures betray inner turmoil faster than words? Could physical signs reveal truth before acknowledgement? I whispered to Daniel, watch carefully. This is the final part. Could anticipation itself magnify the impact of revelation? Could suspense create lessons more powerful than confrontation? The letters and photos were spread before them, evidence of years of neglect and manipulation. Could exposure overwhelm someone even without confrontation? Could observation alone deliver justice? My mother's eyes filled with tears. Could realization arrive silently, before understanding? Could regret strike faster than comprehension? My father's jaw clenched. Could anger and fear mix inside someone who thought they were in control? Could patience and timing outmatch impulsive reactions? Daniel squeezed my hand. Could children feel courage through observation alone? Could witnessing consequences teach lessons that words cannot? I placed a photograph showing my parents humiliating me in front of friends. Could evidence of public shame feel heavier than private insults? Could undeniable proof erase excuses? My mother's lips quivered. Could sorrow appear physically before understanding? Could guilt strike faster than words? I leaned forward slightly. Do you see now? Every insult, every humiliation. It shaped me, and tonight you see it all. Could calm honesty feel sharper than anger? Could documentation of truth outlast decades of denial? Daniel's eyes were wide, reflecting tension. Mom, they look serious. I nodded. Yes, baby, serious, and now they understand part of the cost of their actions. Could witnessing consequences strengthen understanding even in a child? The room was silent, heavy with emotion. Could restraint amplify the impact of revelation? Could patience make lessons more powerful than confrontation? I glanced at Daniel. The final truth is still coming, the one that will shake them to their core. Could suspense heighten every reaction? Could open loops make viewers desperate to know what happens next? My mother whispered, Marlene, why didn't you tell us sooner? Could indirect revelation teach deeper lessons than confrontation? Could timing make acknowledgement more impactful than anger? I smiled faintly. Because I wanted you to see it clearly, for yourselves. Now, the last truth will complete the picture. Could clarity deliver lessons stronger than any argument? Could observation alone reveal truths words never could? Daniel's hand clutched mine tightly. Mom, they look unstoppable. I nodded. Yes, baby. They are calm, and the final truth will hit next. Watch closely. Could witnessing courage silently teach resilience? Could suspense itself educate? The letters, photographs, and envelopes lay spread across the table. Could the weight of truth overwhelm silently? Could evidence, patience, and timing combine to deliver maximum impact? My parents' hands shook as they reached for the remaining papers. Could guilt appear physically before mental acknowledgement? Could realization overwhelm arrogance instantly? Daniel whispered, Mom, what will happen next? I smiled faintly. The final truth will be unforgettable. Are you ready? Could anticipation heighten emotional impact? Could suspense alone make reactions unforgettable? The room felt tense, as if the air itself waited for the last revelation. Could ordinary objects, a table, letters, photographs, become instruments of justice? Could restraint make truth strike more powerfully than confrontation? I leaned slightly forward. This is the last piece, the one that will change everything. Could the ultimate truth arrive with maximum impact? Could suspense and patience amplify the emotional punch? My mother's eyes glistened with tears. Could sorrow strike before comprehension? Could regret feel heavier than punishment itself? My father's jaw tightened. Could fear and anger create inner chaos? Could patience outmatch impulsive reactions? Daniel whispered, Mom, are they done? I nodded. Not yet. The final revelation is coming. The room was quiet, heavy with tension, as I held the last letter in my hand. Could a single piece of paper carry the power to change everything? Daniel watched me with wide eyes. Could a child sense the weight of truth before fully understanding it? I cleared my throat and began reading aloud, slowly, so every word hit with impact. Could pacing amplify shock more than yelling? Could deliberate delivery make truth unforgettable? My parents' faces went pale as they listened. This letter proves the inheritance you stole from Aunt Margaret, the money you denied me for years. It was hidden, and now I have it all. Could revelation about money and betrayal strike harder than emotional wounds? Could financial injustice amplify emotional tension? My mother's hand flew to her mouth. Could physical reactions betray guilt faster than words? Could shock silence even the proudest arrogance? Daniel whispered, Mom, what's happening? I nodded. They're seeing the full truth, the last truth, and it will change everything. My father's fists clenched on the table. Could anger and fear mix in someone realizing they were defeated quietly? Could restraint in confrontation make them feel powerless without a word? I placed a photograph showing them signing papers years ago that secretly excluded me. Could images and evidence deliver lessons that words never could? Could seeing the proof physically overwhelm someone? My mother's lips trembled. Could sorrow arrive before comprehension? Could regret feel heavier than years of denial? Daniel squeezed my hand. Could children learn courage and justice just by witnessing action? I continued reading aloud, letting the weight of each sentence sink in. Could storytelling combined with evidence create a stronger impact than confrontation alone? Could calm, methodical delivery deliver ultimate satisfaction? My father's eyes darted between the letter and photographs, panic rising silently. Could anticipation and suspense make truth hit even harder? Could fear build silently before acknowledgement? I leaned slightly forward. Every insult, every dismissal, every attempt to control me. It ends tonight. The truth cannot be ignored any longer. Could clarity and finality amplify justice? Could the end of secrecy feel like victory for the wronged? Daniel whispered softly, "Mom, they're unstoppable." I smiled faintly. "Yes, baby. Calm, precise, and strong. The final lesson is complete." Could composure and patience feel more powerful than anger in delivering justice? My mother's hands shook as she reached for the final envelope. Could guilt and fear appear before understanding? Could physical gestures reveal true emotion even when words are missing? Inside, I had included every proof of the years of manipulation, hidden accounts, and lies. Could complete evidence crush arrogance quietly? Could documentation deliver lessons stronger than confrontation alone? My father's jaw tightened, lips pressed together. Could silence in the face of undeniable proof feel heavier than punishment? Could restraint make someone feel powerless without threats? I looked at Daniel and whispered, "The last page is the most important. Watch closely." Could suspense and open-loop storytelling increase engagement naturally? Could viewers feel tension without realizing why? I read the final line, "I forgive you, but I will never forget. And I am free now." Could forgiveness feel stronger than revenge? Could freedom outweigh the years of pain and manipulation? My mother's tears fell silently. Could sorrow feel purifying? Could acknowledgement of mistakes come too late, yet still leave an impact? My father slumped in his chair. Could recognition of wrongdoing feel heavier than punishment itself? Could accountability arrive silently, through reflection, rather than confrontation? Daniel whispered, "Mom, they look happy." I nodded. "Yes, baby. Happiness after truth, that is freedom." Could closure feel empowering even to a child witnessing justice? I stood, letting the room feel the calm weight of truth. Could presence alone teach courage and patience? Could observation impart lessons stronger than words? The table was full of letters, photographs, and evidence. Could organized proof deliver justice more efficiently than anger? Could timing, patience, and calm amplify every reaction? I smiled at Daniel. We did it. The lesson is complete. They understand, finally. Could satisfaction come from patience and careful planning rather than confrontation? Could preparation amplify impact? I whispered to my parents softly, "I forgive you, but some lessons must last forever." Could forgiveness feel like power when paired with undeniable truth? Could closure coexist with lingering lessons? Daniel hugged me tightly. Could shared victory between parent and child feel deeper than material success? Could courage and patience inspire resilience even in the youngest witness? I glanced at my parents, eyes full of calm certainty. Could quiet authority feel more powerful than yelling? Could composure create lasting impressions stronger than anger? I turned to Daniel. "It's time we go now, together, free from the past." Could leaving the scene symbolize release and triumph? Could action speak louder than final words? The room remained silent, heavy with reflection. Could silence after revelation feel louder than confrontation ever could? Could timing, patience, and evidence deliver ultimate satisfaction? I whispered softly, "Everyone watching, what would you do if you discovered the truth about your family? Comment below, I want to know." Could engagement questions increase connection and interaction naturally? Could curiosity keep viewers thinking long after the story ends? Daniel squeezed my hand. Mom, can we go home? I smiled. Yes, baby, home, finally free. Could small acts of normalcy after tension feel like victory? Could everyday gestures signify closure? As we left, I glanced back once. Could reflection on the past reinforce the lesson of resilience and patience? Could closure leave lasting satisfaction? To everyone watching, if you liked this story, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more great stories.